Soulrender Dormazane extracts anima from the most brutish captives of Torghast to fuel the jailer's armies. The Torment has never met a soul he couldn't break, but his latest victim is proving resistant to his usual methods. Feeding on this captive's unending rage, Dormazane will enjoy spending millennia finding his weaknesses. I'm Fentusius and welcome to my normal and heroic Soulrender Dormazane guide, also known as the Garrosh fight. If you're interested in other languages, don't forget to enable the subtitle feature and pick the one you're after in the YouTube video. Soulrender Dormazane is the 5th boss in the 9.1 Sanctum of Domination raid, and this fight provides you with a wonderful opportunity to save Garrosh Hellscream from eternal torment, as we all know that he did nothing wrong. The encounter itself has a little bit of everything, as it is not going to have phases but rather a set of mechanics. Dancing moves just like with Hagan in Extremis, dodging void zones, killing ads that you need to debuff with Argus-styled rings, and most importantly, enjoying Hellscream's screams. The signature ability of the Soulrender is Torment. The boss arena is separated into 4 lanes. Upon casting Torment, a wave of anima will spawn in the back of each lane except one and spread forward until they hit Garrosh. Run to the safe lane immediately since the wave is actually pretty fast. When the boss reaches 100 energy, he will use Anchor of Torment, which will cause multiple anima waves to spawn repeatedly and force you to move from safe lane to avoid being turned into Ventir food. While you'll be escaping these deadly anima waves, pay attention to not come too close to Garrosh, who is surrounded by River of Souls, which will quickly kill you if you linger there for more than a few moments. One of the major mechanics to look out for during this fight is Warmonger Shackles, where the boss will spawn 3 chains in front of Garrosh. Players can interact with them in order to pick them up and carry them at least 40 yards away. This will cause them to snap, which will deal damage to the whole raid with Unleashed Tyranny. If you fail to break all 3 chains in time, Garrosh will cast Hellscream, causing deadly raid-wide damage until all 3 of the chains are destroyed. You should have players snap the chains with a few seconds in between, so healers have time to heal up the raid. You can also try using damage reduction effects like Power Ward Barrier or Spirit Link Totem and break 2 chains at once. From time to time, Dormazane will summon 4 Maelstrom Agonizers, who will move towards Garrosh and continuously cast Agonizing Novas, an interruptible spell that deals large amounts of AoE damage and applies a stacking slow effect to the whole raid. They are susceptible to all forms of crowd control, so make sure to interrupt the cast and then slow, stun, grip or knock them away to not let them reach their destination. If they happen to reach the River of Souls, they will gain Defiance, making them immune to crowd control and increasing their damage by 200%, which can quickly turn into a disaster. In addition to spawning ads, the boss will mark several players with Brand of Torment, which will cause them to do ticking damage to nearby players and to Maelstrom Agonizers. Remaining within the brand will also cause Agonizers to take 50% increased damage from all sources. Make sure to use grips and knockbacks to gather them up together, so that branded players can debuff the ads and the raid will be able to dispose of them quickly. As for the tank mechanics, the Soulrender will periodically use his Ruin Blade, which will deal about 70,000 physical damage and increase the active tank's physical damage taken by 100%. This effect lasts for 40 seconds and stacks, so make sure to switch tanks before the next Ruin Blade hits. Lastly, throughout the entire fight, all players will be taking minor but constant damage from echoing screams, which will keep healers on their toes, especially with the amount of movement you'll have to do. This concludes the fight on normal. The heroic difficulty, however, has a few important changes. Firstly, the boss will periodically torment Garrosh and cause Rendered Soul, sending fragments of his soul to cascade onto the arena and deal massive shadow damage to the players caught by it. As usual, don't stand in the swirlies. After breaking the shackles on heroic difficulty, the chain snapping players will receive the Soul Manacles debuff, which causes ticking damage and prevents the player from interacting with the chains again for 4 minutes. You will need to assign specific players to break the chains for every set of shackles that will spawn during the encounter, as most debuffs will likely not reset during the fight. Lastly, on heroic difficulty, if the chains are not snapped in time and Garrosh is allowed to cast Hellscream, it will cause all affected players to be feared every second on top of the Hellscream damage, which will likely result in a quick wipe. If you want to check out additional tips and raid notes, you can find out more in my Discord, as I'll have a pinned section for boss talks. This was my Soulrender Dormazane boss guide. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit the like button, and if you decide to subscribe, I'll see you hopefully in the next one. Goodbye.